When I think about data and power, I see power in data in that data is information, it's digital information, and information can be very valuable in terms of who gets access to that information, how's that information maybe translated into other types of intelligence, and then also in terms of this information, how does it get interpreted? The power around data, there's different types, but I think this idea of interpretation and access is pretty critical to thinking about power. So I think that in terms of how it affects everyday citizens, there's a lot of ideas around data being neutral and objective and somehow better able to get at the truth than other types of information. And I think that where we see it in the everyday is in terms of how sometimes as our data is translated into data intelligence through different types of AI, for example. I think that people forget that in that process, this translating of data into intelligence, there's an interpretation going on. There are people that are engaged around creating different kinds of conditions around what gets collected, what counts and what doesn't count. And I think that more and more, as more decisions kind of become automated through these different types of technologies, people are dealing with the implications of that, even if they don't necessarily know where it's coming from. And so, like for instance, maybe I'm trying to get a rental somewhere and it's going to pull up certain types of data or information about me. In order to make that determination, I may not know what's going on behind the scenes. I may just know if I get a rejection or not. And so I think that part of how it's affecting people's daily life, there's a lot that is obscured about this connection. But I think people are waking up to that. Like, I think people are becoming a lot more conscientious, particularly around social media and seeing how it can affect people's lives. But I think that there's still a lot of work to be done around that, particularly around the public sector. In terms of response, I think this is where this telling new stories about what's happening, being able to translate some of the issues around justice into its relationship to earlier movements around justice. And so this is why I get really excited about Terra Commune and kind of thinking about data colonialism, because I think colonialism is a struggle that a lot of people and a lot of communities are very familiar with, creating strategies of resistance. And I think that now as we think about that with relationship to data and digital technologies, there's a lot that we need to understand in terms of this unique context that we are in, but there's a lot from these past strategies that can inform what is happening now and our understanding and thinking about it. And so I really like this kind of combination of the two in terms of thinking about how can we not only create movements, but maybe reinvigorate and re-engage around older movements towards justice, even through the medium of data and digital technologies. And I think that's really exciting to think about alongside communities and through storytelling. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, thank you.